Good evening. Welcome to Story Time. Tonight I'm going to read another story from the comic Tales to Astonish, number 11, published in September of 1960 by Atlas Comics. The story I'm going to read tonight is called I Was Face to Face with the Forbidden Robot. It was illustrated by Don Heck. We don't know who the author was, as comic authors were often uncredited in the 1960s. It may have been Don Heck. It also may have been Stan Lee. Those are our best guesses. Anyway, here's the story. I hope you like it. Let's get started. I was face to face with the forbidden robot. Every nerve tensed in my sweating body as I walked down the cold stone steps to the dungeon. For I knew that somewhere in those dank passageways lurked the most dangerous creature on earth. Somewhere in those shadows was a runaway robot. It began with a gloomy realization one day in the year 1967. Poor Anne. When we married, I swore to work hard and give her a wonderful, exciting life. But so far I've given her nothing but this meager existence. And for inventing an anti-germ serum, we have voted you the Outstanding Citizen of the Year. With this award goes a prize of $5,000. Lucky guy. If only there were some way for me to do something like that. Some way for me to become rich and famous. And it was the following day, while passing a toy shop, that the idea came to me. Those television gadgets, they might be the answer. They might be just what I need. That night, I worked out a plan. And then, I'm going out, honey. Don't wait up for me. I'll be home late. Ralph, what are you doing with those ropes and chains? Where are you going? Don't worry, Anne. I'll be all right. And when tonight's work is done, life will be a lot better for both of us. Because many people said they were dangerous, robots had been banned for the past 5 years. My scheme was simple, but risky. Anyone who could capture an illegal robot would become a hero, and that's just what I aim to do. I'm taking a heck of a chance, but it's for Anne and our happiness together. It says, warning, keep out. Within a little while, I reached the compound where robots were interned and deactivated. If I can just get in here without being seen. Here they are. Once these robots were able to move and think. Now they're just lifeless hunks of metal and plastic. I picked out one of the machines and attached the television instrument to it. Then I adjusted it for reactivation. I'll just set this to give me enough time to get out of here before the robot comes to life. Soon I was outside the compound, watching a strange and powerful automaton once more start to move. There he goes. I'll be coming out within seconds. I hope I haven't taken on more than I can handle. It's too late to worry now. I've made my play and I'm going through with it. The robot stole out of the compound and I followed him. With the television instrument, I was able to keep far behind him and yet know exactly where he was. I'll wait for the right moment and then strike. Capturing an illegal robot will make headline news. I'll get a reward and become famous, too. Nobody will ever suspect that I'm the one who set him free in the first place. But then, all of a sudden, something's gone wrong with the receiving set. I'm not getting any picture. Frantically, I rushed ahead to the last place I had seen the robot. This was where I saw him, From here, he could have headed in any direction. Wait a minute. That abandoned castle. A perfect hiding place. I'll bet he went in there. Even as I scaled the castle wall, I knew the odds had now been turned against me. It's far from easy to capture a robot out in the open, but in this place, it'll be 100 times tougher. He could be hiding anywhere, and he has the element of surprise on his side. A half-ton of mechanical strength just waiting to pounce on the first human who comes after him. What was that sound over there in the shadows? I tried a slip knot and held the lasso poised as I moved closer. Then, when the formidable shape came into view, got you! But a mere rope was no match for the Goliath machine. Before he could move, I lashed out with a chain that spun around his neck. But then he gave off a blast of electricity that galvanized the chain and half electrocuted me. And as I lay helpless on the floor, he turned and fled. My plan had failed. As soon as I was able, I got to my feet and grabbed the spear from the wall. The robot must have figured I was done for. He didn't bother to finish me off. That gives me another chance to get him. I had a hunch he would head for the dungeons, and so this time it's him or me. I don't see him, but I know he's down here. I can feel his presence. There he is. He attached himself to the ceiling. I hurled the spear with all my might, and the nightmare machine fell to the ground. Clank! Got him. But I spoke too soon, for the robot was still for only a few moments. Then he began to move, to rise. No, no! Nothing can stop him now. Nothing. I was no longer armed. Now the hunted had become the hunter. I turned and fled into the nearest chamber. I don't have a chance of stopping him now. My only hope is to get away while I still can. But there was only one entrance to the chamber, and the vengeful robot came after me, closer and closer, until, in a blind panic, I hurled the lantern. In seconds, the chamber became an inferno. Then a superhuman arm clutched me, and there was a tremendous crash of stone. Crash! The next thing I remember is being outside, bending over the limp body of the robot. I am destroyed, human, but at least I have saved you. You are unharmed. What? What have I done? This robot never intended to hurt me. It repaid my brutality with kindness. When the robot was discovered, I received the recognition I had wanted. But I couldn't accept it. I must refuse this award and this money. The robot was only a machine, but his impulses were far nobler than mine. I used him for my own selfish purposes, and he gave me his life to save mine. The only reward I deserve is the regret and shame that I now feel. But as I walked away, I received the most wonderful reward of all. It took courage to confess the way you did, dear. I'm prouder of you than I've ever been. And best of all, due to the robot's valiant act, the laws are being rewritten to allow them to exist again. And the one who saved you will be repaired and presented to us as a gift. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story I Was Face to Face with the Forbidden Robot from the comic Tales to Astonish number 11 by Atlas Comics from September of 1960. Good night.